Hello everybody, my name is Ryan or M&R Productions and welcome to my newest top 10 video. This is going to be the top 10 worst LEGO Star Wars remakes ever. If you do enjoy the video, could you give it a like? And what is your least favorite LEGO Star Wars remake ever? Let me know in the comments section below. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and let's get started with number 10. At number 10, I've chosen the 8095 General Grievous Starfighter. I thought it was an unnecessary remake of the 2007 General Grievous Starfighter, and I just felt like it was too big, too bulky, too many pieces, a little bit too much going on. It, of course, did include the brand new General Grievous minifigure, which was probably the best part of it, but for $50, it was really pricey compared to the $20 version that we had just 3 years prior, and it was much, much bigger, much, much bulkier, and kind of unnecessary. It included this unnecessary Jedi minifigure and then the Doctor type minifigure. The original General Grievous Starfighter was just a simple and effective model, looked very nice, clean and sleek, had mostly tiled exterior which looked really nice, and I just liked it better. So I think number 10 worst remake is the General Grievous Starfighter. At number 9, I've chosen the 75175 A-Wing Starfighter against every other A-Wing ever made. I feel like I'm putting this here at number 9 because of its price, and that's probably true. I feel like the $40 price on this is a major turnoff, because before this, all A-Wings were $25 or less. There had never been an A-Wing that cost $40, not even $30. They were all $25 or less. The last A-Wing we had before this was in 2013, and it was $25. Well, at least standalone. The A-Wing that came with Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, however, was combined with Darth Vader's TIE Fighter for $90. So if you split that down the middle, that's $45 for an A-Wing. So this $40 A-Wing seems like a bargain, right? But no, this is $40. It's a ripoff. I just feel like it wasn't necessary considering we had just gotten an A-Wing literally 6 months prior. So it's a bad remake. I didn't understand why it happened. It included some cool minifigs like Lando, but it included some stupid stuff like the ladder piece and the maintenance cart. So I didn't really understand that. I don't know. I feel like this A-Wing was just kind of shoehorned in there with another A-Wing already on the shelves, and I didn't really understand it. At number 8, I've chosen the 2016 Clone Turbo Tank, and the reasoning for this is that I feel like it was a step down from the previous two models, especially the 2010 Clone Wars model, which was a monster set. It's a much, much better set. You guys can tell the size of these things is much, much different, and, LEGO didn't necessarily do a bad job on the 2016 version. It's a nice, well-put-together model with a good minifigure selection. However, I feel like it was slightly overpriced at $110, I believe, compared to the 2010 one, which was $120, and you got much, much more, at least size-wise. But the main takeaway here is that they've downsized the model considerably for very little price change, and that's where I'm getting at. I feel like the Clone Wars model was just so much better that it makes this newer model feel so much worse. At number 7, I've chosen the 2016 Homing Spider Droid, and there's a big reason I chose this one at number 7. It probably could have gone higher. It's a bad remake, simply for that
it just had the same exact model released 3 years earlier.
So it doesn't make any sense to me why another year after it had retired, they decided, oh, let's make another one because it's so popular. No, it wasn't. It's exactly the same as the previous version, barring the stud shooter beneath its main head, I guess. And I didn't really, this is one of those remakes. It's a bad remake because it shouldn't have been remade yet. They should have waited 5 years. You know what I'm saying? It did retain the same price point, which was nice. You didn't see a jump in price. They were both $30, so I do applaud that. LEGO did a good job not price gouging on this one, I guess, if we want to give them that. But unfortunately, it's the exact same model. Like, the leg designs are like exactly the same, and God, they put no effort into this. You know what I mean? So I feel like it should have been waiting a few more years, and then it could have been remade, but it just didn't go well after 3 years. I think that didn't last long on the shelves. And it's the Homing Spider Droid. It's not a very popular ship from Star Wars, and I just didn't understand why. They also included the little crab droids or whatever they're called, and it was basically the same design with the stud shooter again. At number 6, I've chosen the 2014 Vulture Droid set. Now, the weird thing about this is it's the only standalone Vulture Droid set we've ever had. All the previous Vulture Droids were included with a Jedi Starfighter for a pretty reasonable price. Like, you'd have Ahsoka's Jedi Starfighter with a Vulture Droid. That was $40, actually. That was kind of not reasonable, but that was $40. And before that, we had, like, Anakin Starfighter with a Vulture Droid, which was $20. And so, you know what I mean? Like, they were all included with sets, with the Naboo Starfighter type sets. But then we had this one, which was standalone, and it was $20, and it's kind of a ripoff. I didn't like it. It was too big compared to the other versions you guys can see here compared. You had a long lineage of Vulture droids that were a certain size, and then with this set, they had just made it bigger for no reason. So that's what I felt. I felt like it was unnecessary. It was a stupid remake. It was unnecessarily big to charge $20 for, just to get that price point, I guess, instead of making like a $10. You know, what's wrong with making the $10 sets like we used to have back in 1999, 2000? You know what I mean? Like the original standalone Vulture droid was $5, and it worked really well. I don't know why they couldn't make it $10 and then, you know, make it the same size as the newer ones that had been upgraded and had the nicer designs and everything. No, they just made it bigger and bulkier and stupider, and that's how I feel about that. That's number 6. At number 5, we have the most recent re-release from LEGO Star Wars, and it's the Darth Vader figure. This one is just being released in 2018. The previous version that you can see now was released in 2016, and you see what I mean. They are exactly the same, barring maybe a little printing difference in the torso, maybe some slight design changes. I think this new one has some leg printing. However, I didn't see the need for this so soon. You can literally still get the old one on shelves, and the new one I have found on shelves already, so what gives, LEGO? This is just really odd for LEGO to do. Usually if they're going to re-release a ship or a set or something of that nature, it will be a couple years after the other one had retired, and that is not the case here. You're seeing a $10 price increase from $30 to $40 for basically no increase in piece count. You're getting 8 extra pieces, and you're seeing very little, you know, added value as far as most consumers are concerned. $40 for a buildable figure is no joke. This is a ripoff in my opinion. I would say wait for a sale if you're going to go get this one. It's just overpriced. I know it has the added printing, but I just don't see the value there. The only other thing this new Darth Vader adds is that you have the removable helmet to get to his head, so I guess that's what costs so much to make this set worth the extra $10, but I think for most people it's just Darth Vader, and you're seeing a $10 price increase for no reason. At number 4, we have the 2015 AAT. It was a much smaller model than the original AAT, and they actually managed, in my opinion, to make it worse than the original early 2000s AAT, so we're not even going to get into that, but it's definitely worse than the 2009 AAT, and God, that 2009 AAT is a beauty. You guys can see it on screen. I mean, it had the perfect design. It was $50, and then they came in and made this really small one that looked, you know, so out of place for $25, and it just didn't make any sense. It just, the proportions were off. It just looked so weird compared to the other two models that had pretty much the right proportions and had really nice shaping and design and just great minifigs in them. This one included Jar Jar and a couple battle droids, and the original AAT from 2009 included Yoda, a clone trooper, 3 super battle droids with rocket arms, and a regular battle droid to pilot it. And then you go back to the original AAT that included 2 battle droids. So I guess you do get a little bit better minifigure selection. However, I'm not going to put too much into that. I think this is just a bad model overall. I think the design of it is just too small. It doesn't work for an AAT. I think an AAT needs to be big like the 2009 version. I really liked that version. I think a lot of people really like that version, and I wish they had just remade that version in tan, you know, like they had done with the homing spider droid in 2016 from 2013. They could have just taken the 2009 model and made it into the 2015 model for the same price in different colors. I would have bought it. I think a lot of people would have bought it, but unfortunately that's not what they did. They gave us this crappy model, and that's how I feel about that. At number 3, we have the 2016 Death Star, the most disappointing thing since the 2008 Death Star. Not really, but you get the point. It was a complete rehash, complete re-release, just the exact same thing with updated figures. It was basically like going from an iPhone 5 to an iPhone 5S. You're not getting much there. So the main thing here was the new minifigures. However, they did have a redesigned Darth Vader's TIE Fighter in this, which I guess is a nice addition, but the big takeaway here is that for 200 extra pieces, you're getting charged $100 extra. Where did those 200 extra pieces go? Who knows? They're just kind of scattered throughout the set, essentially. But the big takeaway is you're going from $400 from 2015, which the set was released in 2008. I'll give them that. However, you're going from $400 straight up to $500. And I believe someone had done the math, and the inflation was like $50. So you're kind of getting it you know, it's kind of fair, but then again, for the average consumer just looking at this, you're getting a much higher price for no reason. So the extra $100 tacked on there didn't add to my fandom for this. If it was $400, I might have been all aboard for this. I think actually it wasn't a bad idea for them to update the figures if they were going to keep the model around because it was so popular, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I feel like the figures did bring a lot to the table, but I felt like just straight up re-releasing the set for $100 more with updated figures essentially just didn't make sense. And I mean, I guess it's selling well. I guess it's doing well enough that it makes sense for LEGO to do it, but as a fan of LEGO Star Wars, I would have much rather seen an actual LEGO Death Star with the paneling and everything, and that's what I was actually getting excited for when this was being rumored at first. Most people thought it was going to be a full Death Star with panels, and we were getting that, and then all of a sudden we see the picture of it, and we were all sorely disappointed to find out that it was just an updated model with new minifigures. So that is the 2016 Death Star. Very, very disappointing set. Let's move on to something even more disappointing. At number 2, I've chosen the 2014 Death Star, and it again, as the main theme of this video, is a major downsize from the 2007 version, which was basically perfect in every way, and it just didn't look right. I mean, I guess objectively it's a pretty good design. However, once you release something as good as the 2007 MTT, it's really hard for me to look at the newer one as a big fan of LEGO Star Wars and say, hey, that's pretty good, because it's not comparatively. Like, you look at that 2007 model and you just, you know, it's so perfect. They did such a great job. And, you know, they really priced themselves out there. They did 1,300 pieces for $100, and then you get this new one, which is 900 pieces for like 110, I believe. So it was a little bit confusing to me. You didn't get great minifigures. You only got like 5 battle droids compared to the old one where you got 16. So you really are missing out on that. You get a couple of nice Jedi minifigures, which I guess you didn't get with the old MTT, but I really feel like it was unnecessary to even include them. The point of the MTT is that it's a droid ship and that it should have droids in it, lots of droids, and the new one failed to do that, as well as a major downsize in the model, which was just a real shame how much smaller it really is. So that's the new MTT. It included a stupid little stap speeder without a tall stand like every other stap ever created in LEGO Star Wars. So this set is just a confusing mess to me, and I don't like it. And at number 1, the worst remake of all time from LEGO Star Wars, it's the 2016 Republic Fighter Tank. I mean, this thing is just awful to me. You compare it to the other one from 2008, and the 2008 model is so much better. It was $50 compared to the $25 model of new. You do get Ayla Secura and a Clone Trooper Gunner, which is in the new Phase 2 Clone Trooper Gunner outfit. We've never gotten a Phase 2 Clone Trooper Gunner from LEGO. You also get a couple battle droids. However, there's something so classic about just getting a couple of regular Clone Troopers with your Republic Fighter Tank, instead of trying to make it into this battle scene with a couple of battle droids that obviously stand no chance against the Republic Fighter Tank. You're getting some type of army builder with the old Republic Fighter Tank. It's just kind of something different that they've done recently, and just shoehorning in minifigures that don't belong with the set to make it into a battle set. You know what I mean? So you get that. Their old Republic Fighter Tank did have flick fire missiles. Obviously, the new one has those spring-loaded missiles and stud shooters, which I think work much better than the flick fire missiles. However, they might not look as good. The old one had a lot more features. You had the top cockpit area that could drop down into the center of the ship or stay up at the gunnery. However, the new one, I believe you're just kind of stuck where you are in your seat. The new one is also deceptively small. You may think otherwise when you see the box art. However, once you build it and get it in hand, it is incredible how small it is. It doesn't have any type of like bendability like the old one did. It has wheels on the bottom like the old one did. However, you're just missing those extra features that the old one had, like the hidden missiles underneath the wing on the side, and all the interior space is just gone now with the new one. It's just a real shame what LEGO has done with this particular downsize of a set. I mean, they've gone from $50 to $25, and they've really done it an injustice. I feel like the new model is just so much worse than the old model, and I just really don't like the new model. I mean, that's what it comes down to. It's just so small compared to the old one, and it lost a lot of detail. You lost a lot of playability functions, and I feel like the new one is just a real letdown compared to the old one. That is all for my top 10 worst LEGO Star Wars remakes, guys. If you did enjoy the video, leave a like on it. If you have a least favorite LEGO Star Wars remake ever, let me know down in the comment section below. I'm curious if it's on my list or if it's something that didn't quite make my list, so let me know in the comment section below. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to see some more of my future videos. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.